You are listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk. I am the beautiful man. Sitting right across from me is my sexy sidekick, Ross. Take your telephone call to 751-1041, Mr. Charles in charge. Yes, my friends, this is a celebration.
The celebration!
Celebration of the Big Top, the conservative circus, the greatest show on earth. Welcome to hour 2 of the James T. Harris Show. You know, Ross.
Yes, sir.
24 years ago today. What time is it?
3:05.
3:05? 24 years ago today. It's 3:05. That means it was 5:05 in the out east, or Midwest. I had been married for about 2 hours. This is 3:05. I'd have been taking the vows. I remember it was like looking at the clock and seeing that people were running late. I didn't know there was a Cubs game going on. You know, folks were coming trying to fight traffic to get to the church. Mm-hmm. It's a long story, but yeah.
So it's your anniversary.
It's my anniversary today. It's my anniversary.
Congratulations,
well,
sir.
you know, 2 decades.
It's a long time.
That's a long time to be with one woman. It's a long time. Thank God she looks good. It helps. I think she's one of the luckiest women in the world, though.
I see.
She's the luckiest woman in the world to have a handsome, just loving man like me.
Well, I was going to say because, she's got 3 beautiful kids.
That's not the reason for her luck.
I see.
I gave her them kids.
Oh. Well, without you, they wouldn't be here.
Well, yes.
And without her, they wouldn't be here either.
That's true, but they all look like me. Unfortunately, they all act like her. Can I say these things? I'm supposed to be really, I was really loving today. I love my wife. Yes.
So we spoke in February about you guys not doing anything special for Valentine's Day, obviously.
Right.
So I would assume you have something planned for your anniversary.
No.
Not at all.
Not
at all.
No. See, we were in, we went to go visit our son in, where is it? Flagstaff. He's up in Flagstaff. So, yeah, because he couldn't come home for Easter. He had to do some kind of mandatory coursework, which is absurd. So we took the whole Easter party up to him. And while we were there, I'm like, hey, honey, it's our anniversary. What do you want to do? She said, plan for the next one. That's what we'll do for this one. We'll plan for the next one. So it's kind of crazy because we were out of town. Then she has to leave town again. So I'm not going to really see her for a little while. So we just decided to skip it. You know? When you get, the older you get, first couple of years got to be a big deal, but then you kind of settle in after the kids come down. Hey, happy anniversary, honey. Love you. Okay, gotta go. Mwah. We'll probably plan something for next. Well, next week Zach gets married, doesn't he? I think that's next week. Hey, Charles, is he busy over there? I think he. Yeah. So that we'll celebrate our 25th at their first. That's how we'll do that. Maybe take her out, bring her a sandwich.
A sandwich.
Yes, anniversary sandwich.
Would it be of the variety of dried chicken?
That's what she likes. She likes dried chicken. That's why I have to eat my chicken dry, because she eats her chicken dry. Today in the news, ex-Tucson fire captain sentenced to 66 years for 3 murders. Wow. Now, this was all going down right before I moved here, right, Ross? A former Tucson Fire Department captain was sentenced to a total of 66 years in prison for killing his ex-wife, his mother, and her mother's friend. David Watson was sentenced Monday to 16 years for killing his ex-wife. She was 25. 25 years for killing her mother, and 25 years for killing her mom's friend. The sentence will run consecutively, and Watson will not be eligible for parole. He was given credit for 723 days already spent in incarceration. He was convicted March 17th of the 3 murders in a second trial after his first trial last year ended in a hung jury. Before sentencing Monday, a judge denied Watson's request for a new trial. No third trial for you. He was convicted of 1 count of second-degree murder, found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder in the fatal shooting of the mother-in-law and friend. Right. And this story is just terrible. It's terrible. And if I remember correctly, he was getting away with it for a while. So you figure, okay, wow, they got him. Okay, that's great. Ex-Tucson fire captain sentenced to 66 years for 3 murders over the weekend in the Old Pueblo at a very popular restaurant up on the northwest side. A man walked into the restaurant, shot a woman, shot the man that she was with, and then killed himself. That went down, I believe I want to say Friday. I want to say Friday or Saturday. Friday. It went down Friday. I know because, I got we have friends who were in the neighborhood. We have one of my son's friends working there. It's crazy. But here's what's even crazier. The shooter was another Tucson fire captain. A Tucson fire captain shot and killed a man and wounded his ex-wife before turning the gun on himself in a busy Foothills restaurant Friday night. Frederick Blair, 60, 24-year veteran of the Tucson Police Department, which means that Frederick knew the other guy, the other captain. What is going on with the Tucson fire captains? Tucson Fire Department is heartbroken over the news regarding the shooting last Friday night. The department extends its thoughts and prayers to the families of this tragic event. The murder-suicide occurred at about 7:30 p.m. inside Fireberg's Wood Fire Grill, popular restaurant, the high-end mall, La Encantada, North Campbell Avenue. When deputies arrived, they found Blair and another man already dead. On Saturday, authorities identified the victims as Elliot Cobb, 65, and Mary Jo Blair, 57, Blair's ex-wife. She was shot in the leg and taken to a hospital for treatment of injuries described as non-life-threatening. Detectives had to interview dozens of witnesses. I have to tell you, I don't understand this. I know that these things happen. They happen a lot. But I don't understand you going into a crowded restaurant. I don't understand the man last week who went into the school to shoot his ex-wife in front of the children and ended up killing one of the children. I don't understand that. Jealousy, spite, anger, rage. All right. So kill yourself at home. Why do you have to go to... I don't understand. Get on the mic there, Ross. What'd you say?
Well, when you're in that state of mind, you're not really thinking about collateral damage. I'm just saying.
Okay. Still, Ross, I understand that. But take the case last week where the guy, he's in that state of mind, so he walks into a primary school somewhere, I'm going to kill my ex-wife for the children.
Again, he's not thinking about the collateral damage. He's thinking about killing his ex-wife.
He's thinking about himself.
That's correct.
Well, I guess this is a demonic level of selfishness here.
Well, I mean, murder, suicide, that type of stuff, it's all
self.
Correct. It is.
Let me go to Roger. Roger just called in here. Roger, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
Yeah, James, I wanted to bring up that this year the state legislature had a bill where you could hold a property or a business liable if they denied you the right to carry your firearm in. In other words, like La Encantada, that entire center is posted no firearms allowed,
Right.
and somebody obviously still brought in the firearm, and nobody within that restaurant could have taken their fire in if the center saw it.
Well, if that guy hadn't killed himself, he'd probably be in a lot of trouble, Roger. He's gonna go. I don't. So here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, and here's the problem with other laws like that. Somebody in this kind of situation, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. I better not shoot my ex-wife's lover and my ex-wife and then kill myself because this is a gun-free zone. It shows you the lunacy of making these laws. And then the only person who's going to end up following that law is going to be the law-abiding citizen, the one person who could probably have a chance to stop it if there was any kind of conversation that went on beforehand. But I don't think there was even that. The dude walked in. He knew they were there. He walked in. He capped the guy, or shot the wife, capped the guy, killed himself. Or killed the guy in front of the ex-wife, then shot her, then killed himself. Because he wanted her to live? What? And then again, there's just the incredible coincidence that you have two Tucson fire captains. And then, just as shocking that even in upscale neighborhoods, you get this type of stuff happening. Gunman enters restaurant and murders people. Yeah, Mandy's right. The person who's doing this kind of thing, he's not thinking about the consequences. Yes, and I would agree with the observation that it seems like lately there's a lot of people who are losing their minds. The one time I did watch, no, it wasn't TV. I saw something on the internet where a gentleman that killed a police officer or a peace officer, and he's in the courtroom chained up, growling. What? Do you know why you're here? Yeah, I know why I'm here. Dad is like, okay, that's my son, but obviously something has him. Something evil. But there's no other way for me to describe that. We're going to talk about in the 5 o'clock hour, the man who just randomly just walked up and killed an old man. Why? Because his girlfriend left him or some kind of craziness? Society is sick. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk. You are listening to 104.1 KQTH Tucson's News and Talk. It's hard to wrap your head around this type of action, and we're seeing a lot of it. People want to come up with all different types of psychiatric diagnosis for all of this. It's evil, I think. There's a great book out. It came out a while ago. Scott Peck. It's called People of the Lie, The Hope for Healing Human Evil. This book came out in 1998, almost 20 years ago. People of the Lie, The Hope for Healing Human Evil by M. Scott Peck, M.D. It is the most riveting thing you will read. Dr. Peck suggests that, you know what? We spend a lot of time studying schizophrenia, sociopath, all that kind of stuff, but nobody ever has done a comprehensive study of evil. What that looks like. I read that book over 15 years ago, and it completely changes the way I look at these type of things. Let's go to Adam. Adam, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
How's it going, James?
Fantastic.
Yeah, with things like this going on, I think one thing we can say is that we all see more of it because we are all in tune and connected, and there's multiple ways to see news now. But another problem is I don't know the numbers for sure, but I think in the past 150 years, we've gone from 1.6 billion people on this planet to 7 billion people. And the majority of those people on this planet have wholly rejected God. And I think what we're seeing is a result of the human race turning away from God and evil being allowed to abound. That's what I think.
I'm not going to dismiss that at all, Adam. I would say to your first point, we're so well connected because of the internet, because of social media, because of news outlet. We can't get away from it. I didn't turn on the TV set once this weekend, and I knew about everything that I'm talking about.
Right.
And so yes, there's no way to get away from that. But I also think that we have become uncoupled. We've been on that trend for the last, 50 years, since the 1960s when we began to take down guardrails. I made the comment on Friday that, a lot of people don't know why a lot of businesses close down between 12 and 3. We've on Good Friday. We've lost a lot, and in losing that, I believe, yes, we let a lot of stuff, unwanted stuff, into our culture. Right. Thank you very much for the call. Let me go to Bob. Bob, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
Hey, James. I kind of agree with along the lines of this last caller. There is definitely something wrong with our society now due to the fact that the way things are going, total anarchy, and there's a lot of confusion, and there's a lot of people that really can't deal with stress, whether it's post-traumatic or what. And it just it takes a lot of inside faith to overcome this and try and not let things bother you so much, Although, it seems like it's caving in on you, but it's just the way the world is.
We can say that's the way the world is, but to your point, we look at, I saw some things over the weekend about people who truly lost it over this election, they lost their mind. They got triggered over the election to the point where they're screaming in the street. They're turning around in circles like, they're deeply disturbed or something's going on. And it's happening. It's happening. At first I thought it was a spoof, but it wasn't. This is, it was a compilation of a video of these people from all over our country who have just become undone. And I think a lot of it has to do, again, with the breakdown of the family, Bob. Utter breakdown of the family in some parts of our country and in some of our communities. But with that, something is lost.
You can institute laws and stuff till you turn more in the face, but the laws aren't going to stop anything. It has to come from within, a person's own self.
Yeah, self-control. I need to talk about that as well. We had one athlete who brought that up the other day and got smashed, got hammered, for saying, hey, personal responsibility, self-control. Hard work. Those are things that are also under attack in our culture. Thank you very much for the call. And we're seeing it. And we don't have an explanation for it. And we are, just when you think you've been shocked, you can't get shocked any further, something happens that takes you there. And you're just like, you're befuddled at how creative evil is. Befuddled. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH. There's some more folks who want to weigh in on this. We'll get to your call. There was a double homicide. Can we say that? It was a homicide-suicide at a upscale mall last Friday. And it's just like it has people like, pausing, like, what in the world is going on? You're listening to 104.1 KQTH. You are listening to 1041 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk. The 1041 KQTH and Southern Arizona Center Against Sexual Assault presents Dine Out for Safety this Wednesday. Eat at a participating restaurant, and a portion of your bill will be donated to support the mission of ending violence in our community. More details can be found at 1041KQTH.com. We are talking about just this it's someone said that evil is not creative. There's nothing new under the sun. Well, Romans 1 talks about how they look for new ways to commit evil. But this stuff we're seeing here, from the homicide this last Friday to there's a national manhunt on for the man who just indiscriminately killed an older gentleman. I have to, his children. I think that he had like 9 children, 14 grandchildren in his late 70s. His children, they're numb, or they're just saying, "Well, I don't have anything. I guess I don't have any animosity." Okay, wow. Well, and they thank their parents for that, for helping them have their parent. They thanked their parents for helping them to have that mindset. But there's something going on. Eileen, welcome to 1041 KQTH.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, I just wanted to call and say I've called us several times. Hold on. I worked in the psych field and I worked in the criminal justice field for years, and thank God I got a job in manufacturing locally, because I do not want to deal with any more enabling. People aren't accountable for their behavior. We're born with a free will, and I know there are some sick people, but we make the choice. When I've made mistakes in my life, I made the choice to make those mistakes.
And so you own up to them.
Right, and the thing that gets me is with the way the mental health field and everything's gotten, there's no consequences for behavior, there's no accountability. I think between the media and these crazy people wanting to make a big grandstand before they check out, or kill themselves, and I agree with you, why don't they just stay home and do it? And that sounds terrible, and people have found me to be harsh and judgmental, but I just, it's scary between the media and all the attention they get, and the pharmaceutical companies, and the medical profession. Everything's a diagnosis now, and you take a pill for it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if it's end times.
I tell you, Eileen, I'm going to let you go because we have a feedback with your phone, but there's something to what you're saying. There used to be a time when you go to the priest, you confess your sins, and then he tell you what to do. And then all of a sudden, I'm not knocking on the profession. I'm just saying, then we go to the counselors and the psychiatrists that left the church. And then as she mentioned, there's all the pharmaceuticals out there we treat people with. And I don't know. I don't know if that's why we're seeing an unleashing going on, but all I know is yes, it's true. There's nothing new under the sun, but the callousness, the self-centeredness, the disregard for others is we're starting to see it more. Or am I wrong? Lori from the great state of Louisiana, welcome to 1041 KQTH.
Hey, beautiful man.
Hey.
I have a question for you.
Fire away.
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 24 years.
Do you love your wife?
Oh, yes.
What if one day you woke up and you heard voices in the other room and you went to see who the voices were and you discovered it was just your wife in the room? What would you think?
I would think something's going on inside of her head.
If you saw this for 5 days in a row, then what would you think?
Say that one more time, please.
If you saw this behavior for 5 days in a row, then what would you think?
Is this something that you experienced?
This is something I experienced.
And I assume you had, was this your husband?
This was my husband.
You had him diagnosed?
I had him diagnosed.
And what was the prognosis?
Paranoid schizophrenia,
Yeah.
full-blown psychosis,
Yes.
seeing people, hearing people, multiple people in his head, 24 hours a day. Well, he got diagnosed, which was fortunate. We got him on meds. Everything chilled out. It took a while, but everything chilled out. Then guess what came along? Obama.
I about to say Obamacare, and all of a sudden his meds are messed up, and he's reverted.
Yes, he's dead.
Oh.
There is absolutely no help in Louisiana with free mental illness. The insurance dropped it completely because of Obama. We couldn't afford to get him his meds. His death was a direct effect of his mental illness. We were married for 36 years. And for people out there who say mentally ill people are just evil,
no, I'm not. I don't.
If they're not.
If that's what I was implying, I'm like
that are evil are just evil.
That's not what I was implying. If that's what you how you took it, I apologize for that. But what Dr. Peck was suggesting is that the true evil, has never truly been studied. Maybe it has since then. That the book is 20 years old. We still have.
People just don't know what they don't know. I was up close and personal with it for years and years, and still I don't know because I was not in his brain with him.
But what you do know is that the medications that were prescribed to him were effective until yes,
until Obama. So
wow.
Please, people, when you judge people from your glass house, stop it.
Thank you very much for the call, Lori. I don't think that's what people were doing. Obviously, that struck a chord, but I don't get the sense that that's what people were doing, judging people who have psychological problems. Let's go to Steve. Steve, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
How are you?
How you doing, Steve?
Pretty good. First of all, first-time caller, long-time listener. I think people have just become desensitized to all this stuff because of the shootings on TV and movies, and the whole thing's just gotten out of hand. I've been a flight attendant for over 40 years. I see the stuff that goes on the airplanes, but people have no manners. They see this stuff on TV. They go to these movies, and I think they really are totally removed from what's going to happen if you shoot somebody.
It's sort of like delusions of grandeur. It's sort of like, when we're talking about a subject, the other topic, people go down and they have these ideas in their mind what they're going to do. Or one of our callers says, half the people down here are not in shape to be able to take care of themselves or fight back. You think it's going to be one way, and then it turns out to be something completely different.
Look at these kids a few months ago that shot somebody because they wanted to know how it felt. I mean, that's crazy.
It's, to our previous caller, their fantasy world sometimes intrudes on reality. The two are blurred, yes. But there's also, was it 2 callers ago who said, you know what, I take responsibility for my actions. And it starts there when people when people are not forced to do that. And are given permission, become permissive. And the next thing you know, that leads to other things. Thank you very much for the call. Let me go to Bill. Bill, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
The shooting up at La Encantada Friday.
Yes.
I am a concealed carry weapon card holder. And when I first got that card, if I saw the sign on the door, I would return to my vehicle and secure my weapon in the vehicle. But you know what? There are no metal detectors. And I would much rather spend some time in jail for defending myself over another person who was aiming to do me harm or my family or anybody else in this establishment than to be, eternity in a box in the ground.
Bill, I have, I've seen some of those signs, and you make a calculated risk. because if something goes down, yeah, you're going to be in trouble. But at the same time, if something goes down and you're trained and you don't have that, then
Right.
I understand what
And
you're talking
your
about.
previous
I completely understand what you're talking about, and as our society grows more and more violent, it's going to put people in very, very awkward situations. And once again, it's the law-abiding citizens that run afoul of the law because they want to protect themselves using their constitutional rights. It's crazy.
Your previous caller said something about the movies and the TV. Well, I'm going back to the early 70s, Dirty Harry, but that was a police officer taking out bad guys, and a lot of the movies of late is just random people shooting each other. It's not so much the police versus the bad guys.
Or the bad guys are ending up being the heroes. You're feeling sorry for the bad guys when they get caught. I forgot one of the recent movies. But yeah, is art imitating life or life imitating art? And as we grow into a society that's far more dependent upon that, the things we watch and the games we play, it does soften our society. I'm using the wrong word. Yeah. We become desensitized.
I got one more point for you.
Quickly.
I went to the theater. My wife and I were at the theater, and I noticed that the emergency exit door, when you could see it through the was cracked open, and I just sat there the whole movie thinking, oh my God, somebody's going to come in that door. Somebody left that door open on purpose
because of what happened in Colorado.
Because of all of that, yeah.
And see, it's to the point, Bill, where I don't like to be around big crowds of people anymore. I know that makes me sound paranoid, but I just don't like it because you lose so much, and because of what we've seen happen before, you can't help but be in your head. Thank you very much for the call, Lowell. Welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
James, how you doing, brother?
Fantastic.
Hey, one thing to think of, and I'm not saying we're in the end times yet, but this could be like a precursor. Revelation says that love will grow cold. Well, if there's no love, people become callous, and they don't think kindly towards their fellow man. They're just out for themselves, and they don't care.
I don't even know how to. When you can. Wow, that kind of stymied there, Lowell, because there's still pockets of extreme love or people being selfless, but we're watching our society, grow colder. And all you need to do is look at it in some of the younger generations. I'm not going off on millennials. I'm just saying that I don't know. When they say love wins, it's not the kind of love we're familiar with. It's it's kind of crazy. Like I said, something's going on. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk. You are listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk. We have the lovely Erin Christensen in studio. How you doing, Erin?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic. Just wonderful. I went up to Flagstaff and was a little, chilly this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was fun, beautiful, lovely. And now I'm back in the old Pueblo, and I'm expecting some heat.
So did you like Flagstaff's weather better than Milwaukee's when you were there?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's still
yes.
cold.
Yeah, but it's Arizona cold, which is not really cold,
Okay. Oh, I'll remember that you said that.
Yeah, yes. Arizona cold isn't really cold compared to Wisconsin cold.
Well, right.
It's a dry cold, not a wet cold, see.
Mm-hmm. And there's a difference.
There's a big difference. But it's beautiful up there.
It is.
I love
gorgeous.
going from the pine trees back to the desert though, to the saguaros. I'm a desert guy now.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
Well, it's really neat, all the microclimates that we have in Arizona. So many people think like, oh, Arizona's just dried up desert. It's all brown. Not really.
No.
Not if you've actually traveled the entire state. Lots of little microclimates. That's what kind of makes it fun for someone like me.
Absolutely. So you get to talk about that and how it impacts the weather.
Well, it's just amazing how even driving from Tucson up to Mount Lemmon, you can get a 30-degree drop in temperatures in just a 30, 40-minute drive.
It's amazing
crazy.
driving up there how the topography turns to what it looks like in Flagstaff with the pine trees and all that kind of stuff. Yes, absolutely.
Well, we are going to be warm here in the vallay, so you might start making plans to head up Catalina Highway again.
No, I want it. Bring it.
Well, okay, wasn't just talking to you.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you've got some listeners.
All right.
Right? They might want to start making plans to head up Catalina Highway. So tomorrow, 95, which if we hit that would be our first 95 of the year, because exactly 1 month ago, we came dangerously close. It was the 18th of March when we thought we might have our first 95, and then the mercury stopped at 94. So we kind of toyed with it. Tomorrow's 95 would still be earlier than average. We're typically not talking 95 until the 2nd of May. But it could be our first 95.
Exciting.
Yes, not a record, though. That one is 98, set back in 1989. Wednesday, 93. Thursday, down to 91. Friday, 91, back to 94. Saturday, 96 on Sunday.
It's all good. It's all good.
Not too bad.
Yes, I'm loving it.
The wind does pick up Thursday and Friday.
Oh, that's not good.
Just an early heads up for you.
That's not good. Like real bad or just sort of breezy?
No, we'll actually be breezy the next few days. Windy by Thursday and Friday. And, of course, Saturday is Earth Day.
Earth Day. That's exciting. We got a plan for something special, Ross, for Earth Day.
I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you guys up a recycle bin.
Oh, we don't do that. We don't recycle.
Even on one day of the year?
Man.
Good God.
That'll be going out in the hallway afterwards,
yeah, give that to Charles. Sometimes I see you coming in here picking cans out and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what's she doing?
Well, sure. Do you know how long that sits in a landfill?
Yeah, for like...
We'll get into it later.
Did we fight about this once before?
We fight about it all the time.
We did fight about this.
Well, kind of fighting.
You can see the lovely Erin Christensen at 601 and kicking on your side. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk.